Hi, welcome to Parasail. It's Yvonne here, and today we're gonna make kombucha. Very excited. Let me just say a little disclaimer before we begin. I have never made kombucha in my life. I've only drank it, so I'm super excited to see how this goes. Also, if you hear any bird noises or random laughter, that's gonna be my parrot. She's behind you guys, and her name is Polly. This is her. And she's just having a ball with me recording in the kitchen. So let's get started. First off, you're gonna need a Scobie, which is actually an acronym, and it stands for Symbiotic Culture of Bacteria and Yeast. So contrary to popular belief, the Scobie is not actually a fungus, it's actually a culture of bacteria and yeast. So, and if you don't know what kombucha is a fermented tea that is fermented with Scobie. So, to have that, we're also going to need distilled water or boiled water, any type of just filtered water will work. I want to keep it on the safe side. I'm going to use distilled water just because I don't want anything contaminating my kombucha, because there are risks associated with homemade kombucha, mainly with the process of it. So we're also going to need some vinegar. I'm going to clean everything, pretty much everything with vinegar. I'm going to clean the pot where I'm going to boil the water. I'm going to clean this giant cup. And I'm also going to clean this huge jar. This is where the kombucha is going to ferment. And you do need to use a glass jar just to make sure that there aren't any bacteria attached to it. So, and remember not stirring anything with a metallic spoon. So I would just use a plastic one, or maybe, I think a plastic one, because I wouldn't want to use a wooden one. I always think that wood, like utensils, kind of like absorb things. So let's just use a plastic spoon for that. We're also going to need some sugar, and this is a very important component of this experiment, I suppose, because this is what the bacteria is going to use to feed off of. So don't scheme on your sugar. I know that we're all trying to be a little bit more healthy, blah, 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 but this is not the place, because sugar helps bring down the pH level, which is really important, because if it's too acidic, we can't consume it. First, you won't like it because it's going to taste too like sour acid. And second, it's going to be bad for you to drink so much pH or a beverage that has such a high pH level. So don't scheme on your sugar. Scheme. Am I saying that right? This is going to be ironic to you, by the way. Like, this is my daily life. Whenever I'm speaking in English, like, I just blank out on words, or like, I don't know how they're called, or you know, how they're said. So bear with me, and if you want to correct me, you're more than welcome, because I don't want to look like a fool out there in the real world. So thank you for that. And you're also going to need 3 bags or 2 bags of black tea. It can be any tea that you like. Just make sure that it doesn't have bergamot, because then that doesn't allow the culture to produce or something. So just black tea to keep it safe. Okay, so first off, I'm going to disinfect all of the things that I'm going to be using. I'm just going to grab a little toilet paper, paper towels, and with the paper towels and the vinegar, I'm just going to wipe everything. I'm just going to pour a good amount, and then I'm going to like spool it a little bit, and then I'm going to wipe it. So, well, we're not going to use this yet. Okay. Just make sure everything is nice and clean. We're not trying to die from our probiotics. I'm just swiping it, like, you know. Sorry about that. All right. Be thorough with your cleaning. I don't want anybody dying on my watch. Okay. So this is good. Just like taking all of the vinegar, the excess vinegar out. Alright, so now that everything is all nice and clean and vinegary, what did I tell you? We're going to start boiling our water to steep the tea. The water needs to reach, I believe it's 166 degrees. So, you know, don't just like put the water in for a little bit. We need it to be really hot for it to be, one, safe, and two, for the tea to steep. So, I'm going to pour a liter of distilled water. But I want to do a little bit more just because I know that when we're boiling water, we're going to lose some. So I'm going to do like 1.5 liters. I think that'll be fine. Ooh. All right. 1.5 liters. We're going to put this water in a pan. Oh, is that big enough? I don't know if this is big enough. That's not big enough. Hold on. Let me just switch pans real quick. I'm such a professional. Like, I'll use this one. Let's clean it up with vinegar real quick. Awesome. I'm not sure if I cleaned this now. I did now. All right. So now we are going to get the fire going. We're going to boil this. There we go. Awesome. And after this finishes boiling, we are going to place the distilled water in the jar along with the 3 or 2, depending on how many you use, bags of black tea. And this is going to steep for 24 hours, so we're going to leave it there. And then tomorrow I'm going to carry on with the kombucha itself and adding the Scobie into it. Another measurement of safety could be to take a good look at your Scobie. Make sure that it's not moldy, that it's not contaminated, that it's always had enough kombucha covering it. So, because if it doesn't have enough kombucha covering it, then the mold is going to form. And don't be afraid, because sometimes the Scobie has some like spots and they're not going to be mold. You want to watch out for black spots, like really dark ones. Like you'll recognize mold when you see it, but I'm going to show you some of the spots that my Scobie has. I hope that you can see this. Okay, so if you see this little spot here, that's not mold. It's just, I don't know, part of it. I googled it extensively because I wanted to make sure that I'm not getting a moldy kombucha, or that maybe I didn't keep it right, but that's normal. So yeah, if you look up online moldy kombucha, or I mean moldy Scobie, or okay Scobie, you'll see the difference between the two. So don't be afraid, just make sure that you inspect it closely and there isn't any mold folding. Your kombucha, your Scobie needs to always be submerged in kombucha. So make sure that it's nice and covered with it. Okay, so I'm gonna pause this because what was that saying? The watch pot never boils. That's it. All right, I'm gonna pause this. I think this is ready. Okay, so I already see big bubbles. To me, that means 166 degrees. So let's turn this off. And I'm going to put the water back in here because it's easier to pour it to the jar. I'm not trying to burn myself while trying to make some probiotic drink. So let's just pour it freaking out here. Okay. It's really hot. Awesome. And now we're just gonna put the water, the distilled water, in the jar. Okay. And we're gonna steep the tea for 24 hours. So we're gonna pick up on this tomorrow. So, I wonder if I can just leave it with this little thing. Cool. Okay, one in. Okay, so my 3 tea bags are in. I'm gonna leave this steeping overnight. Just gonna cover it like that. And we'll continue this tomorrow, so stay tuned. Bye-bye.